So when I first came to Sanofi, I was actually very pleased to see that there's so much work going on around patient centricity. I see that we have patients involved in our research. I see that we have patients involved to help us with thinking about marketing. I see that we have patients involved with development of some of our pens and injectors. I think that recognizing that having patients part of the development process and part of really prioritizing what are the needs that need to be identified and met through our products is a major asset. I don't know if others are doing this any more or less, but in general, I think that this is the future for the industry. We know that we have different customers who we need to meet, and the number one customer for most of us is the patient. So being able to make sure that we really address their needs, I think is a major benefit that we have here within the organization. So one of the things that I've said is I actually hope to not have a job within 5 years. And what I mean by that is that what we do in terms of patients and focusing on patients is something that everyone feels within the organization. That whether you are in legal or finance or you're out in front dealing directly with patients, that we all have the patient at the center of everything that we do. And so that this is not something that people are hearing or being reminded about from the chief patient officer, but it really is business as usual. So my vision for where we would be 5, 7, 10 years from now is that we are truly a patient-centered organization where everyone knows and understands the role that they play in improving patient outcomes. And frankly, it is a major opportunity to really give people more meaning with their work in terms of being able to understand that what I do here today actually is going to touch someone else's life. One of the things I talk about is in many ways, I want us to be the Apple of the pharmaceutical industry. And so Apple doesn't think about selling products. What they think about is meeting your needs. So we all walk around with what I now call the tricorder, and we never imagined that we would have a device that tells us where to go, when to be there, wakes us up, gives us music, entertains us, keeps us in touch. They were able to create a device that really anticipates our needs. Similarly, with the pharmaceutical industry, patients have significant needs, and so we need to change our mindset to really be able to anticipate what are their needs and meet them. If we have that mindset, then the sales will take care of themselves. So this question of measures and metrics is actually critically important, and it's part of what we've spent a lot of time thinking about. To be honest, we're actually creating that framework to think about it now. But one of the platforms or principles that I'm actually thinking through is we know that there's a value to safety. We know that there's a value to quality. And so then how do you measure that and say that it's making a contribution to the organization? And we're trying to think through that. I think that if we're only looking at it from the perspective of an ROI or the impact on sales, then fundamentally it is a very myopic perspective to just think about that. It's very short term. So from a strategic perspective, we have to think about what is the value that we bring to the organization as a result of what we do, and frankly as a result of what we don't do if we don't take on a patient-centered approach. So as we're thinking this through, I'll have more to share about some of the specifics.